I've tried to put this video together a few times now, but every time I sit down and try to edit it and put it together, I just feel like I'm not doing the story justice, so let's try this again. So before I get to the actual story, I want to preface a couple of things beforehand, just so that we can sort of understand where I was coming from when all of this happened. I think around this time, for about 2 weeks or something, 3 weeks, something like that, I wasn't feeling very good. Not just like physically, but like mentally. I take my mental health like very seriously, and I try my best to be a very positive, happy-go-lucky person, but sometimes we all have our bad days, and that's okay. It's just something that we all have to accept, that sometimes there's gonna be bad days. It was just unfortunate that this time around I was just having a series of bad days, and so I wasn't feeling great about myself, to say the least. Until one morning, I get a call from my dad. It was about 8 in the morning. 8 in the morning. If anyone calls me before 10 a.m., and that's still early, if anyone calls me before 10 a.m., I assume that it's an emergency, because if you're waking me up before 10 o'clock, like, there's gotta be a good reason. So I pick up my phone, and it's my dad, and he's saying that you gotta come outside, like right now. There's something on our lawn and I don't know what to do about it, so I need you to come and help me. So I was just like, I'm just a girl, like, what do you need me for? But I decided to come outside. You know, at this point in time, it was really hard for me to get out of bed, but deep breaths. I dragged myself out of bed. I put on my little cow slippers. I'm actually wearing them right now. Me and my cow slippers. So I put on my cow slippers and I walked outside, and the first thing I see is my dad, right? Me and my dad lock eyes. And I see that he's staring at something on the ground. And I was like, and I look and I see that almost as if a little dragon was curled up in a nesting position was this small little deer, this fawn of a little thing curled up in a little ball in the middle of my lawn. Like, there is nothing else there except a tree and this little deer. It was so small I could barely see it, and I looked down and I was like, oh my god. And me and my dad are looking around like, is this just here? Like, where are the parents? Like, what happened to it? Why is it here in the middle of our lawn? And also, I forgot to mention that there was a huge storm the night before, like a huge storm. Power outage, like, power outage, lightning, like thunder that shook the house. And this little deer was wet, like completely wet. And the closer you get to it, you see it breathing, and it didn't appear to be in any distress at all. So I look at my dad, I was like, well, where did this come from and what should we do about it? Because the thing is, if we left it where it was, we were worried about how safe it would be just laying there in the middle of the lawn, right? It didn't, like I said, it didn't appear to be in any distress. It felt so comfortable, and the close you would walk close to it, like literally like lean down to look at it as if you would like a dog or a cat, and it just would not move, but it was alive. Right, clearly. And so, as I mentioned, me and my dad were worried about its safety, because in our neighborhood there are a lot of people that like to walk their dogs, and some of them walk their dogs without leashes, and normally this wouldn't be a problem. But if a dog that was unleashed saw this little animal in the middle of my lawn, I would be worried that this dog would come after it, or any other wild predator. Like, this thing was so small, an eagle could have, you know, come in and swept it up. Oh my god, and it was so adorable. It looked so peaceful, and oh my god, and the greenery, it was almost like a scene from a movie. It was just like, it was just stunning. And I'm looking at this deer, I was just like, what I would give to be like that right now. Like, it just seemed so like, it just seemed so zen, you know, so at peace. And I was just like, I want to be a little deer. But anyway, we're just trying to figure out like what happened to this deer because of the storm last night. We were like, maybe it was abandoned, maybe it got lost, we don't know. The place in which we live is kind of like 30 minutes outside of Metro Atlanta, which is not that far, but even then we do have a lot of vegetation around in our area, so it's common to see deer along the roads all the time. Sometimes you'd see them in the backyard doing this and that, but never a little baby deer in the middle of nowhere like that, in the front of the house in like broad daylight. So a few minutes later, me and my dad are talking about what to do. I'm looking up things on my phone, like what should I do, and I was just like looking up things on my phone, like what to do, thinking about calling animal control because we don't know how to deal with this. We don't want it to get hurt or anything. But our worst fear came true. One of our neighbor's dogs came out of the house and started barking. And this fawn was so unbothered. He was just like wasn't even batting an eye. It was still asleep essentially. But this dog came running for it, and then my dad's like talking to the neighbor like, hey, like stop. But it was too late. The dog tried to come out and run after it, and we were like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then so the little deer let out like a little like yelp, like a, I would try to recreate it but I can't, but if I find an audio, here it is. That's what it sounded like. And then this huge deer came out from behind one of the houses to my left and came in and was like, checked on the deer, like backed the dog up, and the little baby deer, the fawn, stood up and ran to the other side of the house. And the deer, I'm assuming the mom or dad, I don't know what exactly their pronouns are, but I'm gonna assume mom. It was giving very much maternal energy. Mom checked up on the baby and then ran off again. And then me and my dad are looking at each other like, because even though the mom has ensured the safety of the deer for now, it's still way out in the open, and another dog could just come and get it. Because luckily the neighbor was there to restrain the dog after he realized what was going on, but you know, we're not always gonna be there, right? So through some means of imagination, and let me just preface here, I did nothing illegal. Don't come for me, I didn't do anything illegal, nor did my dad. We managed to lure the little deer into a safer place, our backyard. And like I said, we did this to make sure that like nothing came out after. We did this to make sure that nothing came after the little deer. There were also sightings of baby snakes by my mother literally the day before, so we were also worried about that, and the fact that it was so hot. And so we lured him into like this shadowed area of our backyard, and so we did that. And then we decided to keep an eye out for the mom to see if it would come after the baby, because the mother did not come back like at all for like a while to come see her child. Also, I've decided to name this little deer Perry. I don't know why. It just seems like the appropriate, like, I look at this deer and I'm like, that's Perry. I don't know why. Comment below if you have a better name for this deer, but to me, he's Perry. But anyway, so Perry starts to just like lay there, like does nothing, lays there. He seemed lethargic, but maybe it was just hot and tired and sleepy. I mean, it still was a baby, so they probably sleep a lot. Didn't move at all, didn't call or cry or anything. And so for the next couple of hours, me and my family are just like looking out for this mom deer. And once the mother deer started showing up around the place, I started to like try to lure her to where its baby was, because we're clearly looking for the baby, right? But you know, that didn't work until eventually I left for work and I came back, and I heard from the neighbor that she saw the deer and her little baby running around. And I was just like, okay, what a huge relief. They found each other, everything's fine and happy. And I was so glad to be like part of that. I was so glad that we were able to make sure that this family was okay. It just makes me so sad because there's a lot of deer accidents that happen in our area, unfortunately. And it was just really nice to see the opposite of that happen for once. And so yeah, but what was amazing to me though was that even after that happened, I thought that they would go live their life in the woods and I would probably never see them again as much as I wanted to. But they came back again and again. Every other morning my mom or my dad or I would see them out and about in front of the lawn. I don't see Perry as often because Perry's probably in the shade somewhere. Actually, no, I lied. One morning, I did find Perry in a bush next to our backyard. Perry was just doing his thing, like he was just being super comfortable. And but more often we see the mom like running around, like looking at us, like making direct eye contact. Like if I see her, I just look at you and be like, "You doing good?" And then she'll give like a little nod and then like run away. Oh my god, they're so cute. I was definitely having my Snow White moment there. Dang, that was just so, it was just so nice to be a part of. It's so cool. Nature is just so cool. Oh my god, I love animals. Yeah, I don't know, that's something I won't be getting over for quite some time. Like even now I think about it when I'm at a low and I'm just like, that was pretty nice. But yeah, this video was a little bit different. It was more like a story time versus my other videos, which are mostly like vlogs. But I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless, and let me know if you like this. And yeah, I hope all of you are doing well. I hope all of you are doing well and having a good day and everything. And I'll see you next time.